How does it work?
The increase in taxes on the new assessment will be forgiven at 80% for the first 5 years. Year 6, it will be 70, then 60, 50, 40, and then after that you pay the regular assessment. So you're not giving up anything because you didn't have anything to begin with. So now you've gotten 20% for the first 5 years, and then gradually until it increases back to 100% of the tax of the new assessment.
But there's also a tax incentive for hiring. For every new employee that you are hiring because of this expansion or new location, you have a $1,000 tax credit, one time only. Where it gets better is if it's a low income, if you're making a low income hire, you get a $6,000 tax credit over 3 years. And I think that the catch is it's hard, unfortunately, to keep people for the 3 years to realize that tax incentive. But it's a wonderful incentive for coming into an area that needs more employment opportunities and creating jobs where we really need them.
As we advance and get more biomedical jobs and things of that nature, they are so specialized, you are going to keep those people. So there may be more opportunities to achieve that credit than I originally thought, as I'm hearing more about the technology companies that are looking to relocate and or expand. So,
and I think it just gives us that edge. It's so competitive right now. We could potentially lose new business, or even existing business to Delaware and to other counties that do have some favorable tax incentives.
But our attempt was that any place within the town of Chestertown and any contiguous properties that a business could operate is where we wanted to designate as an enterprise zone. So some of those properties already have improvements on them, some of them have none. And the no improvement properties are really where you're going to see businesses apply to take advantage of that tax credit.
Yeah, it does total about 700 acres, 690 acres actually, to be more precise. And in the town, its properties already zoned light industrial, commercial, and commercial marine.
We need to be able to sustain the momentum that we're starting now. It's taken me, it's been about 1.5 years that I've been doing this. The first year I did it while working in the commissioner's office, so 6 months probably full-time. And just now starting to understand the programs and understand the process, and can't say I understand it fully, but making the connections and knowing where to go for the information to help a business, it takes a while to make all those connections. So we just need to sustain that and continue on with it, and basically not start from ground zero again with economic development.
And for the Arts and Entertainment District, which I'm in charge of too, we clearly want to bring in more businesses downtown. We want to create more opportunities for artists to live and work downtown. But ultimately, we need jobs that would bring people to move here, that would then give more customer base to all of our downtown businesses. Our restaurants and our shops, they need more people coming in the door.
Yeah.
And so it's just all so interrelated and tied up. I would throw out a number: if we could get even 300 more people living in the general area, that would help. If there are families with disposable income that can come downtown and support local businesses. That's one of the reasons I have been so optimistic about Stepney Manor. If the college can get the right development package for Stepney Manor, that would be, I hate to say it, but that'd be transformational. That is what we need, a whole new group of consumers and residents downtown. Would be wonderful. The idea of having the high-speed internet coming through the county is also going to be major in terms of then people realizing they can come here and base their home business here. They can work from here. Right. And even if they're part-time from another city, it'll give us a huge incentive for people to come here. We met with somebody last week who's interested. She's representing her company looking to perhaps open an office on the Eastern Shore. We met with her together, and it's nice to be in a position to be able to say to somebody, both the county and the town have made an investment in economic development. This is something we want. This is something we're committed to. Maybe we couldn't have said that 4 years ago, because that whole economic development piece was seen as optional.
Yeah.
And I think there's just a great awareness at the county and the town level. The hospital issue has brought it into sharp focus that we can't not grow. We have to grow now in a smart way, not giving up who we are and our special qualities. We understand all that totally.
Right.
But to not grow means we're going to be losing in a big way, things like the hospital. So in the schools.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting a lot of messages from the universe that we do need to keep moving forward, and I feel like now we're poised. We're in a very good place to move us forward. Well, and I spoke with a Washington College alum recently who does have a manufacturing business, and I was chatting with him about what would it take. And his first response was, oh, the town and the county, they're so anti-growth. And I'm like, no, that's changing. And I think that's the first step, is to say there's a new attitude, and we really want to work with you if your business is right for our area. And again, you know, clean manufacturing, small scale businesses. Yeah. So, you know, to me, that's the first step, is just turning that ship around in terms of the perception and the attitude of the leadership. Well, you know, I think Commissioner Fithian raised the issue recently in a meeting where he basically said it's not the leadership at the county level or the town, it's the neighbors. And I think that Kent County and Chestertown, we do have people who know how to galvanize. They're smart about it. So if they don't want something, they're going to be very smart in their opposition. And I think that we've just had some very successful. Now, you know, Walmart. I'm glad that we said no to Walmart, but I know that a lot of people think that was a mistake. But he brought up some other issues: the Drayton Manor,
Yes, I saw the airport.
Yeah, the airport.
Yeah.
And I have heard that we lost an opportunity maybe for vocational training here, that we could have really been a center. And I don't know the story there, but I think that was a loss. I'd like to think if those opportunities came now, we would grab them and make them work. Yeah. And, you know, again, I think there was a period when we could sort of rest on our laurels, that sort of exceptionalism attitude. This is an exceptional place, and I think for a long time people thought that was enough. We're beautiful, we're charming, we're historic. And now we're realizing that's not really enough anymore, because all around us people are being very aggressive about recruiting smart growth. And so we have to go for it.
The lack of growth has had to do with the citizens, as well as the perceptions of the attitudes of what is wanted in the county. Rather than saying, yes, we can do this, but we have to change something, the answer was, no, you can't do it that way, without the support of what can be done to change it, to make it work. Mm-hmm. And I heard something at a conference, and it really makes sense. It says sometimes it's not the regulations, it's the regulators. So sometimes it's just how it's presented and how it's perceived by the other person. Mm-hmm. So I think that's had some to do with it. But I think we've come a long way. But I can't honestly say, because I don't know all the history of all those other things that didn't pan out either. But it's time to forget about those, and let's start moving forward and creating some successes.
I'll say that the businesswoman that we met with last week clearly loved this area.
Yes. And
personally, this is where she would want to be.
Right.
But she's got to suss out all of the business decisions and what's going to be best. So. Right. You know, we're not going to be giving up anything to try to get her here, but we're going to do everything we can to work with them and compete with other counties that are also going to be wooing that company.
Right. Yeah. I definitely think there's a little more marketing that needs to be done on the economic development side. I think the county and the towns have been traditionally very good at marketing tourism, which is very, very important to the county. But we also need to market the economic development opportunities in Kent County as well. So marketing is definitely a piece that I think we need to work on. I can't say whether we need additional staffing at this time. I do feel like I've got enough of a workload, but can I say that that's going to be sustainable for the next 3 years once some of these things are rolled out and completed? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that yet. I don't know how Kay feels.
I would like a free intern. If you could get me a free intern, that's what I need. Yeah. You know, and I will say success breeds success. We need, we need a couple of hits. You know, it's like we're really close on some things. When the marina gets fully funded and that's up and going, and it will make our waterfront much more of a destination than it is now, That'll be major. If the Stepney Manor project could move forward, that would be major. Once the
when the broadband's
when the
complete.
broadband gets in,
Yeah.
and we
Once
start
the enterprise zone.
seeing the effect of that.
Right.
So when do you think we would see it? 3 years out?
Oh, I think you're going to start to see growth within the next 2 years. I mean, and maybe not even that long, but definitely within the next 2 years. As soon as that broadband is complete, we're going to start seeing it.
You mentioned the boutique hotel or the conference center hotel, which so many people agree is a priority. So I think, one approach is to anybody who knows anybody in that business, we solicit to say, we hope you'll come and look here to consider. If that doesn't work, then it might be pulling together local stakeholders and just getting a group of local investors to create what we need. If you look at some of the things on the drawing board, it's very exciting when you see the marina plan and you see the public arts master plan and you see, Stepney Manor, what could be there. It's very exciting. Yeah. But, I keep saying we've hit the pause button and we need to hit play. And so